Well, hello, hello, hello. I hope you all are having a super duper fantastic day. It's the 11th day of Christmas. Y'all, I know it don't have a ring to it like Live at 5, but you know, this Christmas thing and this singing thing is definitely one of my things. And I'm up here with a fellow singer, so I know she could appreciate wanting to sing a tune every now and again. But look, you guys, thank you so much for being here. Come on inside of the StreamYard room. It is day 11 of Deneen's 12 Days of Christmas. You know what that means? We almost done. We almost complete. But you know what happens towards the end? It just gets juicier. Put it in the chat. Blooming season. Put it in the chat. Blooming season. Put it in the chat. Blooming season. That's what we're talking about tonight. All right. I see two people out there. I need you to put it inside the chat. Blooming season. But before we get into the conversation, you know what I like to do. You know what I like to do. I like to prepare you first. Go get you a piece of pen and paper. And I want you to get ready to light this chat up with your nuggets that when they get dropped, whatever resonates with you, you need to put that in there. Tuki, what's going on? AKA Tavara King, right? Look, we call her Tuki. So, I mean, I know sometimes she's like, dude, don't put my business out there in the street like that. But anyway, hey, Tiffany, how you doing? So happy that you are here. Thank you so much for being here and showing up. Go get your pen and your paper. She said, hey, that's what I'm saying. Hey, hunty. Look, go get it. She said, yay, Kim. All right. So you excited already because you know it's about to be something. The doctor is in the building. All right. Look, you got your pen. You got your paper. I done prepped y'all. You ready? So let me go ahead and introduce myself now. My name is Dineen Merriweather. I am the founder and CEO of Queenpreneurs Jumpstart Program. It's the #1 training environment for women in the world looking to leverage their knowledge, ignite their passion, and build a highly profitable business. Now, it's going to take something. And here's what I want you to get that it's going to take. It's going to take effort, and it's going to take time. Put it in the chat. It's going to take effort, and it's going to take time. Kimberly will tell you, and I'm telling you, it takes effort, and it takes time, but I promise you it can happen. All right. So now that you got that, Dr. Kimberly Hardy, what you going to tell us about today? I know it's all about blooming season, but first introduce yourself. Let them know who you are, what it is that you do. Okay, Tamu, you already feeling me, right? It takes effort and it takes time. Yes. Please introduce yourself, Kimberly. Let us know. I'm sorry, Dr. Kimberly Hardy. Introduce yourself to us. Let us know who you are and what it is that you do.
Hey, y'all. Deneen, thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much. Hey, Tiffany. Hey, Tuki. Hey, Tamu. I just love coming here to be with you, Deneen. I love coming here to be with this community. You all are my tribe, and I thank God for you. I truly thank God for you. So, 2022 for me has been a time of a lot of change, so much change. I am an educator, I am an author, I am a mental health advocate. In 2021, I wrote my book, my first devotional, my first book.
Come on
And
now.
I coming from a place of vulnerability, of a lot of vulnerability, and really allowing my, I guess, the behind the scenes with God, the behind the scenes with myself to be seen in that book. And one of the things that I really realized as I was sharing about my Psalm of 23, getting a mental health diagnosis, going through all of the things that were related to that, was that the enemy had taken some stuff from me and I need to go get it back. Like,
Come
I,
on.
I got my lessons. I know I got my lessons. And God's still teaching, but I got the lessons. Now I need to go get my stuff.
Go
Okay.
get it.
So
Put it in the chat. Come on, y'all. Come on. Go get your stuff. Tell the devil, look,
yeah,
I'm coming to
I'm
get
coming.
my
I'm coming to
stuff.
get my stuff. Right.
That's like
Right.
one of the Clark sisters had a song like that, right? I'm coming to get my stuff. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's
Amen.
another song. Look.
Amen. Amen. And so when God put this indignation, this anger, this holy anger fire in me to say, you know what? I'm so grateful for the lessons and the blessings and the trials and everything, but I left some stuff on the table. And I'm going to get it. I think for me, what I realized was it's time for me to tell a new story. And so, blooming season, the concept really comes out of Isaiah 35. And it is such a beautiful, ooh, y'all, it's such a juicy, beautiful prophecy because God is telling the people who had sinned against him, who were in bondage because of their sin, who were exiled because of their sin. He's saying that, look, don't you get so down over there and get so down and sad and depressed because you're going through what you're going through. I'm going to bring you out. And I won't just barely bring you out. I'm going to bring you out with abundance. And so he says in Isaiah 35, verse 2, he says, you're going to burst into bloom. Those places that were dry and barren and deserted, I'm going to cause you to burst into bloom. And so God is pushing this book out of me right now, and we'll be here at the end of this month, probably next week. And it's called Burst into Bloom. It's called Burst into Bloom. And the reason why I'm talking about blooming season today is because I need you to understand that it is blooming season, right?
Come on.
Actually, anytime is blooming season. And what I mean by that is you don't always see the fruit in that season, but trust and believe the seed must go down in that season. Whether it is the seed that you're planting in terms of the time and effort, whether it's the seed of the belief and the mindset shifts that must happen, or whether it is the seed of literally just waiting after you have planted, all of that is involved in this blooming season. And so, one of the things for me that I have to talk to you about today is pruning.
Put it in the
Pruning.
chat. Put it in the chat. Pruning.
Pruning. And that what that's about is some gotta go. It can't all come, right? And so when you think about having a garden, when, for example, when there is someone who's trying to grow a prize vegetable, right? Not just a regular farmer, but they're trying to make sure that this vegetable right here is the winning biggest vegetable at the county fair, right? So when you are trying to grow a prize vegetable, right? Like a prize tomato, right? You want it to be the biggest, baddest tomato that there ever was at the county fair. You have to cut off the little tomatoes. And they may be cute and juicy and brown and red, but in order for that big tomato to win, them little guys gotta go. They gotta go. They have to go. And it's not just weeds, right, that have to be cut off, but it's literally some good stuff has got to go. So I want to ask you, in order to reach your blooming season, what are the weeds, the stuff you shouldn't be doing, the stuff that ain't no good idea? But then what about the pruning? What is the good stuff that's actually not God's stuff? Because it's got to go. Who are the people who are draining you of your energy? They're not bad people, but they're not for you in this season. I want to make another fruit reference, okay?
Yeah.
Fruit is what God in Genesis chapter 1, verses like 27 through 29, fruit is what the Lord gave us to eat. That's human food. Fruit off of trees, grapes and vines and berries, that's human food. That's what we're supposed to be eating. But do you know when you eat certain fruit out of season, it will poison you?
Ooh, put it in the chat. When you eat certain fruit out of season, it'll poison you. Now that's a nugget drop. And y'all need to be writing this stuff down on your paper. Now let me tell you what I need y'all to do. All y'all note takers, y'all need to be putting this stuff in the chat so we can help those people that's gonna come back and catch this replay. And make sure you share the video. Because y'all ain't been sharing these videos. Y'all been coming and getting all them nuggets. I want you to go back all them nights you've been coming in here. Go back and share them videos. And then take some notes in here so some people can have some stuff to read when you shared it. Okay. All right. Thank you, Tuki. Tuki, she on it. Okay. All right. Thank you.
And so I want to share with you, there are some people in your life that this is not their season. In this season, they are poisonous for your life. There are some ministries there are some churches, there are some organizations, there's some jobs, there's some things in your life that the Lord has been telling you, yeah, that's a good idea, but not in this season. But you've been holding on to it because it's just, it's going to be so good, but not in this season. And so really it takes discipline as a farmer to cut off the things that look good, it smell good, I know it's going to be good, but it's not for now, right? And so I want to be transparent with you. There is a man that God blessed to come into my life who I love dearly, and he's been sweet and good and kind to me. But what I realized was in this season, the relationship is not nurturing in this season. And so I had to go through the pruning process of letting him go. But here's what I want you to remember. When you are pruning and letting go, leave in love. Leave in love, y'all.
Put it in the
Leave in
chat.
love, right? Leave in love. And what that means is, allow God to show you the words, the timing, allow God to show you, to give you the words to speak life when it's time to go. And leaving in love also means that you remove the blame, the shame, you remove all of those things, not only from the other person, but also from yourself. How often have we let someone stay too long, or we've stayed too long because, oh, I don't want to, I don't want to do this bad thing to them. I don't want to leave the kids. I know as a teacher, I don't want to leave the kids,
Right.
all of that stuff. And so leaving in love is not just about you showering love on the other person, but it's also about you loving yourself enough to not beat yourself up when you do the pruning. Okay. Now, I
Amen.
want to talk to you about pruning tools, okay? Now, I'm not a farmer, but we African American people are agriculturally sound. As a matter of fact, this is a detour, but they didn't just come get us to enslave African Americans simply because our bodies were strong. We
Right.
had agricultural understanding, okay? We had
Yes.
agricultural understanding of how to grow these crops that made the whole world rich. So anyway, that was a detour. But let's talk about
She
pruning
back
tools.
now. She back.
I'm back. I'm back, y'all. Let's talk about pruning tools, okay? There are certain scissors, yes, cutting, there are certain scissors that are used for pruning. You can't just use everything for pruning because you might cut something that you weren't supposed to cut. And usually, when I'm talking about pruning in your life and removing certain things, you really need to be mindful of, are you cutting you? Are you harming you? So when I talk about me coming into this new season and things I left on the table, you don't want to cut yourself by leaving things on the table, all right? Or leaving certain doors open that shouldn't be open. So here's one example of that. You need to let go of a certain activity, but you also are not making it clear with that other person that you are letting go, and when you're stopping and when you're starting or whatever, and you may injure your credibility, right,
Yep.
by cutting it in a certain way. So I want to encourage you to think through, what tool are you using to cut? Is the communication clear? Is it kind? Now, Brene Brown says that clear is kind, right? The other thing is, when you leave, you need to be careful not to apologize for certain things, because that is you injuring yourself. Oh, I'm so sorry that I couldn't. No, I would love to do that. Thank you for being patient with me, but this is not for me in this season, right? The other thing is, you may need to renegotiate the terms.
Yep.
Okay.
Y'all putting
Now,
this in the chat.
renegotiate the terms, right?
Come on,
Because
renegotiate the terms.
just
Put it in
in
there.
case there may be something that you leave on the table. So when you're coming, for example, with the job, there may be, if you use the wrong tool and you do not really think about, what can I get out of this and what can I give to make sure that we leave in a good, sound relationship, then
Mm-hmm.
you may leave certain things on the table. So with the job, advocating for yourself as you leave is important. But in relationships, advocating for yourself as you leave is important. So for
Amen.
example, for me, with my people pleasing self, I injured a relationship. But then I realized, wait a minute, hold on. There were some words that I needed to speak that I didn't speak. That is
Right.
an injury to myself. So
Yep.
going back and speaking the truth in love is
Right.
very important.
Yes, ma'am.
Going back and speaking the truth in love is very important. Now, maybe getting into a conversation with that person is not the thing to do because they can't receive it, and maybe you might come in hot, or you might come in too passive. Step away and then write a letter to let them understand and ask them, hey, I know I won't be able to follow up with you about that right now, but let's meet after such and such to talk about what I said in my letter. Okay. And really, again, these can be difficult conversations. that need to be had. And maybe if you're anything like me, you just created war on the inside to prevent war on the outside, and it's preventing you from doing what God needs you to do. So do not use a tool that creates war on the inside to prevent war on the outside. Let me say that again.
Put it in the chat.
If there is truth that you need to speak and you've held it in just trying to keep the peace on the outside, you may need to ask God to show you how to return and speak that truth. Okay? So I know I've said a whole lot in a short amount of time, but what I need you to understand is you have one job. You have one job. And that job is to do whatever God sent you here for. And Dineen, I was sharing with Dineen before, the interesting thing about Jesus is not that he did what the Father wanted him to do. It's that he did only what the Father wanted him to do. He didn't, okay, God, I'm going to do what you need me to do, and them, and what they want me to do. No. In other words, Jesus had to prune early on. And if you think about this, the word says he learned obedience by the things that he suffered. And I never thought about the fact that maybe Jesus had to suffer with people saying, Jesus, come over here and do this. Jesus, you can do this for me. You got lots of capacity. You can do this for me. And he had to tell them no. And then they treated him crazy because he told them no. Maybe that's one of the things he had to suffer. And for you, being like Jesus means being very clear on what can and cannot be in you doing what God wants you to do. Because bursting into bloom is really about blooming for God's glory. It's not for us. Bursting into bloom is about producing the fruit of the excellent Holy Spirit that dwells in your life. So there's some stuff you're going to have to prune, even good stuff, okay? And some stuff you just need to cut it. Like the weeds of distraction and foolishness, cut it. Those weeds of self-sabotage, those weeds of beating yourself up after you didn't please somebody. All of that stuff, that's weeds. You got to cut that. But the pruning, truly asking God, what needs to be removed? Because I'm telling you, if you look at the life of Christ, it wasn't a life of frenzy, just running around frenzy. You don't see that. You don't see him running anywhere. You see him walking. And the only time you really hear of him being in distress is when he's in a position that God wants him to be in, and he's bearing under the weight of what God is calling him to. But some of the stuff that we got going on, that ain't the Lord. That ain't the suffering he's talking about. That's needless suffering. And you got to prune that, and you got to weed it out, okay? In order to burst into bloom, in order to truly bear the fruit that he's trying to get out of us. And you all, the last thing I want to say is this. If we bear our fruit, Kimberly Hardy is an apple tree, okay? Dineen Merriweather is an orange tree. Tamu Graves is a pear tree. If you will focus on your fruit and only your fruit, don't be trying to make a fruit salad, but focus on your fruit. Okay, and focus on the production of that fruit and making it big and beautiful and bold, not hiding behind people's expectations, not hiding behind the trauma from your past, not hiding behind the relationships that are broken or the relationships that are held together only because you hold it together. Cut it, prune it. Get serious about the fruit you're really trying to produce. And you can't do it all well. You will fail at something. So I encourage you to decide what it is you're going to fail at ahead of time and cut it. Just prune it. All right, back to you, girl.
I love it. She said, decide what you're going to fail at in advance and just go ahead and fail at it and then cut it and be okay with it, right? I mean, she says so many amazing things tonight. She said, that's a word the doctor is preaching. Yes, she is for sure, Tamu. She has definitely came through here. And it was so many wonderful nuggets in between everything that she was saying. But y'all, I can't go back and grab it. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But I hope that you got your notes and you got your insights and the things that you needed, right? I think that was really powerful when she talked about us focusing on our own fruit, right? Don't worry, don't compare yourself. Don't live in a world of comparison. That ain't even, it ain't necessary and it ain't needed. Put it in the chat. Comparison ain't necessary and it ain't needed. It ain't necessary and it ain't needed. Amen. Right? You have your own fruit that you're meant to produce. Amen. And your focus should be on producing your fruits. Yes. Last night we talked about this. Failure is only in language. So listen, whatever it is that you fail at, and you can choose to fail at, because trying is, you gonna fail. Taking action, you will fail. But remember, failure is only real in language. It only exists in language. Remember how I talked about if the tiger didn't catch the zebra, we don't go around talk about the tiger of failure. No, because we know that he might not have caught that zebra, but I declare before sweet potato, if that deer come through here in the next 5 minutes, because as he continues to get hungry and more hungry and more hungry, I promise you, everything walking past him gonna start to have a hard time of getting away. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's how it should be for us as we are working on whatever it is that God has placed in our heart to do, to move towards. She also mentioned about, I'm going to say this, that struggling or being in a place of defeat. I don't remember the word she said, but this is what came to my head. It's a choice. Like struggle is a choice. You do not have to sit in a world of struggle or anguish or upset and breakdown. And that every time you say, it's just so hard. What? That's a choice. Yeah. Why? Because there's help available if you want it. Right? So whatever those struggles are, put it in the chat. Struggle is a choice. It is not what's happening to you. You decide it. Remember, you define it with your words, number one. Yeah. Right? You define struggle with your words. So whatever place you find yourself in, dealing with whatever foolishness you find foolishness, that's what I said. Whatever foolishness you see yourself dealing with, you choosing that. And I say it over and over and over again. Put it in the chat. It's blooming season, but it's also pruning season. Amen. Even the good things. Remember, she spoke to every good work ain't your work. Put it in the chat. That's what she's saying. She said even the good ones, even those tomatoes, even the little ones that's hanging on the vine near the top, you gotta cut it. You gotta cut it. Because what is it doing? It's still draining some of those nutrients. It's still draining on the energy. And that's what it is. You thinking you putting your foot over in the pool over here ain't doing damage to the big thing, but it's doing damage to the big. Remember when Penny came here, Penny DePauw, and talked about the analogy with the big rocks in first? Come on, y'all. We're saying the same stuff over and over again. The people are just coming and giving it to you in a different way. So we can reach all the people. But I promise you, God got the same message. And it's all about becoming the change. Put it in the chat. Becoming the change. I'm serious. Y'all got to get it is in the being and not in the doing. Come on. It's in the being and not in the doing. Help me, Lord. It's in the being and not in the do it. Put it in the chat. It's in the being and not in the doing. Now, don't mean that you don't have to do anything, because we know faith without works is dead. See, y'all don't go twisting my words and don't say I'm confusing you. This is what y'all like to do with scripture. Well, didn't she just say the other day that it's not in the doing, it's in the being? Yeah, it is. But in order for you to get results, you have to take action. So stop playing. Right. It kind of goes hand in hand. The being is just showing you how you need to show up to the who you need to bring with you, who you need to become and grow into during this blooming season. Hello. She said, even in the blooming season, you may not see the fruit yet, but it don't mean that you don't need to be planted. Right. It's blooming season. Like, this is the season. You got to go down in the season. Because you go down in the wrong season, you're gonna kill the dream. You're gonna kill whatever God trying to develop. Come on, people. Come on. Look, it's like, get it. I want you to get it. I want you to get it. Come on. The doctor done put some preaching down here. I just want to make sure y'all getting it. Because see, y'all ain't in this chat the way I need y'all to be in this chat. So when I see y'all in the chat and y'all taking notes and y'all doing all the things, that lets me know that you get in this word. So I need to know right now, put it in the chat. What's your nuggets? What's your takeaway? What you put down on your paper that you ain't put in the chat yet with all these nuggets she dropped? She went for a good, I didn't say a word, y'all, for a good 15 or so minutes. It was no need to. Why? Because she was breaking it all down. It was nothing to say. It was nothing else to be said. I just hope you got your lesson. You got it. She said, come on. That's right. The fire is in here tonight. The doctor has spoken. Now, what you going to do for your ail and pain? And she said, cut it. Oh, she talked about having conversations. Y'all, okay, look, come on. She said, we getting it. Come, you better act like it, Tiffany, because I ain't sure if you got it or you don't. I need to see in the chat if you got it, say you got it. So she talked about having these conversations that y'all keep running from. And in essence, she's saying, if you don't say it, the only person is really hurting is you. You trying to protect something on the outside, but you're killing yourself in the inside. Now I didn't say it in her terms, but what something else she said was poisonous. People. I think it's some of these people, y'all, they poisonous, stay out of season. Being with them or in relationship with them, connection with them, and conversation with them. Let me tell you what was so powerful that my pastor told me the last time I was in North Carolina. I made the statement about not being able to be present for certain people, like not having the time, like people been calling. Let's just say they was calling, I haven't had a chance to call them back, or like I was like, oh my God, I just got to do better. I don't want people to feel like I'm not approachable. And he said, hold on. You got to get that everybody don't deserve to even be in your space. Like, do you get that you got to protect your space? Like, don't beat yourself up because you can't be all things to all people all the time. Like, sometimes God trying to protect you from letting that person into your space. So be okay with how you're serving and how you're showing up and the things that you're doing. Don't be out of integrity. Right? Remember how she said, now, if you done committed yourself to something and you doing it for the wrong reasons, you need to go have that conversation and cut it. Just have the conversation. Hey, I'm sorry that, what you say? Would you was about to say something?
Yeah, I do. I'd have to say something right here.
She said, wait a minute, I got to say something right here.
I got two things.
Come on, doctor.
But what you said just is really ignited, and I really appreciate, being able to be here with you in this moment, you guys, because I'm telling y'all, these are some declarations. The Lord has been just flooding me with some, look, this is who you are. You gotta be about who you really, really are. And so what I want to say right now is you need to speak about who you are to yourself and others, right? And first with yourself. If you are a person that's a people pleaser or a recovering people pleaser, whatever, you gotta start talking like, this is who I am and this is the fruit I'm trying to bear. And literally you got to tell yourself that every single day. What is important right now? What is important to you in this season? If you're a mom, I know it's your children. If you're a single person, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's your healing. I don't know. But whatever it is in this season, you got to be really about that thing and really be about it. But the other thing about integrity, I think some people have said, your word is your bond, right? Your word is your bond. Your word is your bond. But there is a scripture in the Proverbs that says, in the book of Proverbs, that says, if you've been surety for your friend, in other words, if you sign an agreement with somebody and you realize this is not what you need to be doing, don't wait until tomorrow. Go tell that person today. And really, this is God telling you, we make mistakes of overcommitting. Yep. Point blank period. It's what we do. But that's what humans make mistakes. That's what we do. That's the only thing I mean by we're gonna fail at something. It's because you're human. And as a human, you're gonna do just dumb stuff. You're gonna eat dumb stuff. You're gonna drink dumb stuff. You're gonna watch dumb stuff. You're gonna do dumb stuff. But God says that integrity means as soon as you figure out that this was dumb, you go fix it and you go let them know, I'm so sorry. And so one thing that I want us all to be mindful of in this pruning season concept is Don't hold on to something that's not working just because of your pride. That's
Yeah.
dangerous. Don't do that. That thing is killing you. Don't eat that fruit in this season just because of your pride. No, 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 no. Let that go. Or because of your fear. Let it go. Let it go. And I promise you, God will sustain you. All right. That's what I had to say.
Well, that was a good thing to say. Look, y'all, I want to go ahead and drop inside the chat. Now, look, now y'all be calling me and telling me these links and stuff don't work in places and all this stuff. If you are inside of Career to Calling, I need you to come out of Career to Calling and go to Dineen Merriweather, because Career to Calling is a private group. You can't share from StreamYard to no private groups. I'm sorry. It ain't. I'm dropping the link. I promise I am. It's in there. It's in there right now. But in order for you to get access to it, you got to be on the Dineen Merriweather business page. Okay, that's number one. And I just dropped the link because I know my sister about to hook y'all up with something, and I'm gonna let her tell you right now what it is. So she said, "Leave me up, Temu." It wasn't Temu. Why you shouting yourself out? It's not just you. Tiffany came for me the other night. The link ain't here. It ain't showing. So I have my husband going inside there, dropping the chat in the private group. I ain't got help every night. So y'all got to be in the place where the link's going to show up. And the Dineen Merriweather business page is where it is. And let me tell you this. That is the only place you can share it. Okay? Let me tell you what happens in the private group when you sharing it in the private group. Because you think you're doing something and you trying, and I appreciate it, but you're really not. In the private group, if you share it, it's only going to the people that you are friends with that's already inside of the private group. Mm-hmm. So don't share stuff out of Career to Calling. Don't share nothing out of there, because you ain't sharing it really to nobody but the people that's already in there. Do you understand? I need you to come on this business page, the Dineen Merriweather with the pink jacket with the hand right there. That's the page I need you to live on. You need to live on that page. And you go inside the group to get the binge on the content, and you go to the YouTube to binge on the content. But when you want to share something, you want to talk about something, you want to get access to a link or whatever, the business page is where it is at. Now, tell the people what you're giving away.
All right, you all. So let's all make sure we're where we need to be.
Yes, please.
So on January 14th, I'm hosting a blooming tea party. And what it is literally, it's a ceremony. It is a ceremony, a celebration. It is, for me, it is a coming out of, around this issue of moving from being moving from a place of brokenness to really bursting into bloom. This is what it's about, right? And so we're celebrating women that day. We're celebrating Christian women in our journeys, in the fruit that we're about to bear, in the birth, in the blooming that we're about to do. And so literally on January 14th, we're coming together. It is a tea party. And you will have, when you get your ticket, you will, and that's what I'm giving away. I'm sorry, I'm giving a blooming tea party ticket away. You will receive a teapot. I'm so excited about this teapot, you guys. And it will have a flower, and the flower is tea. Okay. So you know how we drink tea and we think, oh, it's just tea leaves. Well, there are leaves on the tea plant and there are flowers on the tea plant. And so you will receive a little teapot that's about this big. And when you put it in the water, you pour the hot water in, over time, it will literally bloom into a flower right there in that clear teapot, and you will be able to drink it. And so obviously there's so much symbolism there about being in hot water and blooming, and being in a bowl where everybody can see you bloom, okay? And then producing this fragrance that's so powerful, and this deliciousness that's so powerful. Of course, we can preach about that all day long, but I want you to be able to get that ticket. So whoever's winning tonight, you're going to get a ticket. The tickets are $40, and but you're going to get yours free. And you will also receive a blooming teapot the week before, so that you're ready for the ceremony. All right?
Now,
that's what I'm doing today.
What is this link for that I'm sharing inside the chat? Because I don't know if it's an opportunity for them to purchase their ticket on PayPal, but it's an offer that you have here. What is this offer that you're offering tonight?
So the link that I have that I shared with you is literally the link that goes to my landing page that has all my books up in there, all the books up in there.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what that link is. And as you know, as I've kind of mentioned, I have the new book that's coming out, but I have a series, the Bloom Beautiful journal series and coloring book, that are all a part of the series that culminates with this devotional that's coming out like in 2 weeks. So so that's the landing page for that. Yes,
awesome.
ma'am.
I'm going to share it again so y'all can go check out all the wonderful things that she's doing. I want to say thank you so much for being here. Y'all know the winner's going to come out tomorrow. I'm so happy that you guys have been a part of the 12 days of Christmas. Y'all been showing up. Dr. Roz, Tavara, Tamu. Oh, Shelly. Hey. Who else been coming? Oh, LaShawn, Tiffany. I'm just so excited that you guys have been. Where's Missy Brown? Somebody tag Missy Brown. Tamu, y'all tag Missy Brown because where Missy at? Missy normally up in here. So hopefully, maybe she might be traveling. I know she had death in her family, so maybe she's traveling. Let's continue to keep her in prayer. But look, go ahead and register. We're going to hop out of here. Purchase the book, the ticket to the tea party. Go ahead and make it a bundle for yourself. Because the doctor has laid it down tonight and you don't want to miss out on none of the nuggets that she's dropping. So make sure you go do that. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. That's so good, but I found it. Okay. Fantastic. Glad you found whatever it is that you found. Dr. Roz said, congratulations. And Tiffany said, woohoo. All right. We love you. Thank you, Dr. Hardy, for being here. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for being a part of the 12 days of Christmas. We hope you continue to come back. We love you. We always looking forward to you coming and dropping these nuggets and dropping them books and all the things that you're doing. Continue to be well. I love you guys. Tomorrow is the finale. Guess who it's going to be? It's going to be my honeydew. It's my honey drop, John Merriweather. So you don't want to miss it. Thank you guys so much again for being here. Love you so much, Kim. And we'll see you guys on tomorrow. Have a good evening.
Bye. Good night. Good night.